Okay. So it's been 4 years. I think it's about time we start telling the honest truth about our starting quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. Now, before I get into this, I will mention that yes, I believe that Tua is maybe one of the most polarizing players in the league. Honestly, I don't understand why. I've never understood the hate that has come his way ever since his rookie season. There are two camps, not just amongst NFL fans, but within the Dolphins fan base. There are two separate camps, and it's one of two extremes. It's the camp that thinks he can do nothing right, that he doesn't deserve to hold a football, he doesn't deserve to be a starting quarterback in this league. He has a weak arm, he can't do anything. Um, Basically, that he sucks. That's one camp. Another camp is that he can do no wrong. If something goes wrong, it's never his fault. It's always the O line. It's always the receivers dropping balls. It's I don't know. It's the scheme or the defense or whatever. It's never his fault. The two apologists, if you will. I have never thought of myself in either camp. Really, I try to look at it as objectively as possible. Maybe I've leaned a little bit towards that second camp, mostly because I wanted to give the guy a fair shot. Because the hate that came his way since his rookie year was just crazy to me. I still to this day don't understand it. But after 4 years, I will give you my honest takes on our starting quarterback. First and foremost, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to rip off the Band-Aid right now, and some of you aren't going to like it. Some might agree with me. I don't think Tua will ever win a Super Bowl here in Miami. Let me tell you why. I think he's good, but not great. He's the definition of good, but not great, which has been, the Dolphins organization for a long time, But Tua, yeah, I think he's an above average starting quarterback, somewhere between 11th and 15th, maybe, on some days he looks like a top 10 quarterback, but of course those are days where his O-line is clicking. Cheetah's just getting open at will. And McDaniel's just having a field day with the other defense, and the weather's perfect. On those days, yeah, he looks fantastic. Some days he's on the money. But then there's other days where I'll give you an example. Against the Tennessee Titans, that Monday night game, I know no one wants to talk about that game, but it kind of derailed our season, so we got to talk about it. That game, that was probably the turning point for me. That's what started proving to me that, yeah, I don't think he is the guy to take us to the promised land. Most obvious reason was Tyreek Hill goes out and misses a chunk of that game because of an ankle injury. The offense changed completely. It's almost like they had no other options, which is, I don't think is the case. I think they still have a great play caller and good running backs, and you still have Jalen Waddle, and you could still scheme guys open, but for whatever reason, the offense just couldn't do anything once Tyreek Hill was out. They couldn't adjust. And I think Tua was a big part of that. At the end of that game, we had a chance we had a one possession lead. They had just scored to make it a one possession game, right? We get the ball back. We get the ball with, I don't remember off the top of my head, 4 minutes, something like 4 minutes left. So that's when you would run your 4-minute offense. That's where your closer, if you will, like an elite quarterback, like a Pat Mahomes, let's say. I'm not saying we got to go out and find a Pat Mahomes. I'm just giving you an example. You put Pat Mahomes, or even Josh Allen or anybody like that, you put them in that scenario at home against a lesser opponent, you would be pretty confident that they're going to get those 2 or 3 first downs and end the game, because that's all we needed. We just needed a couple of first downs. Tua just find the open guy, hit him, get us a couple of first downs, we'll win this game. He couldn't do it. If I remember correctly, it was a very quick 3 and out. We gave the ball right back, and I got that sinking feeling I got as a Dolphin fan that I've gotten many times before. So all that to say, yeah, I think Tua will always be a solid above average quarterback, great game manager, pretty accurate on short to intermediate routes. I think those are some of his strengths. Another strength of his is I think he is great on timing, which is why I think he matches up with the McDaniel offense that, that Shanahan style of offense that Mike McDaniel came from, where basically it's designed to get your first read butt naked wide open. You're scheming guys open. Your first or worst case second read should be open. You get the ball out right away. It's a lot of motion, things like that. And Tua fits that perfectly. Thing is, when things break down, he has not proven to us, or at least to me, that he can throw the team on his back when other things are going wrong and carry us to a victory and just grind one out, get us a W and get the hell out of there. He hasn't shown me that. The improvisation, finding that fourth or fifth read and hitting him for a first down, where other quarterbacks they've done it to us. I've seen it firsthand. I don't think he has that ability. Other things have to be going right for him to be clicking with the offense and it going well. That's why I don't think he's the guy. And I honestly don't think they should commit to him all that money to him long-term. I don't think it's a good idea unless all the Dolphins want to do is be above average, make the playoffs most years, probably get bounced in the first or second round. It'll pretty much go back to the Jimmy Johnson, Dave Wannstedt days, which we all hated, honestly, because we wanted the Super Bowl. We didn't want to be good, but not great. And then we were terrible for like 15 years. But then a lot of us welcomed hey, we're good again. We're scoring a lot of points, but I want more than that. I want a Super Bowl. I want to experience that once in my life. But with this guy, I don't think it's enough to get us over the hump, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I think, and really to zero in on a couple of his weaknesses, the arm strength. I got to say it. Sometimes it's there, on some random throws like that slot fade that he threw to Jalen Waddle from his own end zone. Beautiful throw against the Cowboys. Hit him. It was like a 40-something yard play. Beautiful throw. Sometimes he'll pull those out of his butt and hit a beautiful throw down the field. A lot of the times he underthrows it. Let's be honest. Even the Tua apologists, you got to be honest with me here for a second. How many times has a guy have to stop and come back or slow down and try to catch the ball where had he been hit in stride, would have been a touchdown? There were quite a few. We have a big sample size now. He's not a rookie anymore. He's not a second-year guy anymore. He just finished his fourth season. We have a big enough sample size. It's there. It's obvious. Most of the time, the big arm is not there. He can call upon it every once in a while, but not always. But yeah, for me, it's that and the lack of improvisation and the lack of just getting it done in those key moments. I don't have a ton of confidence in a clutch moment that he could drive us down the field and score and get us a win. He has a couple I don't know how many game-winning drives he has in his career. But I mean, look at his record against good teams. That's another thing I will point to. Yes, he had that drive against the Cowboys. Again, he has his moments, but I don't see it being there consistently game in and game out, where it's like, don't let the Dolphins have the ball last because we will lose, that kind of thing. Because you feel that way when you play the Chiefs. If you take the lead, but you leave a little too much time on the clock, you're screwed. Back in Aaron Rodgers' more prime days, or even towards the end with the Packers, you take the lead late and give Aaron Rodgers the ball with a little too much time. It's a little like a minute 15, minute 30. You're like, oh, we gave him too much time. We're screwed. Tua doesn't strike that fear in defenses. If you want to win a Super Bowl one day, your quarterback has to strike that kind of fear in defenses. Tua does not. And for the record, I like him. I think he's going to be a decent to solid quarterback in this league for a long time. He's going to hang around the league probably for another decade. He's going to make himself a lot of money. Good for him. I hope he does. But I'm just hoping the Dolphins aren't the ones that commit all that money to him. Because if your goal is to win a Super Bowl, I got news for you. It's not him. I'm sorry. It's not him. It wasn't Tannehill. It wasn't the guy before that or the millions of guys before that. We've gotten it wrong for so long. And I think if we pay him all that money and lock him in for this many years, yes, we'll sell tickets. Yes, we'll score points if you have the next cheetah on this offense, because that's a big part of it too. You need the weapons. But we'll always be a good team. We'll win our 9-10 games, 11, maybe 11 games from time to time every year, but we'll never be a true contender. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on the whole thing. Had to get that out there. I don't think he will win a Super Bowl here. And yes, I am I say that as a diehard Dolphin fan, but I got to be honest. That's the deal. Anyways, guys, please let me know in the comments what you think, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also follow me on my other channel if you like Hurricanes football. I'm a big UM fan. Most of you probably know me from that. If you don't, please, Cafecito and Canes, go follow me there. And as always, go Dolphins.